Join in for the second part of this video. After this, you will be able to draw a circle. You ready? Let's get started. And don't forget your goodies and your snacks too. Here's where the light shines. Here is where you find the shadow. Okay? Very easy way just to draw a circle and now to give dimension to something. Okay? I can go even a step further. Let me start over here. Right? Again, here there is light. Here there's shadow. 3D object. Now, what if the light is not that strong, right? Because here it's like one half is in the dark, the other half is in the light. I can kind of look at the way that I want to place the light. So by curving my lines, I'm already showing you that there is dimension. It's not just a circle, it now becomes a sphere. There is a dimension into it, right? If I say my light is shining doop, 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 only here, that means that the other parts are in the dark. So let me use this just for fun. So that means that this area doesn't get the light. And this area is in the light. And so you can play around in different beautiful ways. What if the lines are curved like this, right? These are the curved lines. This is the way it's curved. And the light comes from here. This is the light source. And there is darkness here. And there's just very sheer light on top of it, but most of the light comes here. I can play around with it. So here's darkness, darkness, not so dark, right? Not so dark. Here's a little bit more darkness, and here's a little bit more darkness. And here's the light. Okay? A great exercise with this one is that you create, again, circular movements, and you kind of play around with the focal point. So where is the focal point? Where is the center? And in your mind, you're already thinking about, well, if I'm looking at the center of a sphere, I want it to be here maybe. Or maybe it is a little bit more above here, or maybe it's all the way here in the top here, or maybe here at the bottom here. Maybe it's all the way to the right. That is my right. Maybe it's all the way to the left. Your left, right? Things like that. And what you now see is that I intentionally already made 3D type of spheres. They are no longer two-dimensional like the previous ones that we have created. Like this is like one-dimensional. This is nothing. Two-dimensional type of things. Like this. This is also two-dimensional because you have width, length. These are also two-dimensional. You have width and length. But by having these imaginary lines, right? You can use them as you're sketching or illustrating or drawing something. These imaginary lines can easily help you to create a 3D effect a circle, or even a sphere. You can go as far as creating an object like an apple, a football, the top part of a head, because everybody knows that you got the top part of the head, and then, you know, ear, nose, somebody's chin. So there's a really big circle, but you can adjust it. Here you go. You can make all sorts of imaginary lines. Up, up. Can we go like this? This is the focal point. Now, what's the use of the focal point? The focal point is basically the perspective to which you're looking at. This is the focal point of what you're looking at. Here's the focal point of what you're looking at. This is the focal point of what you're looking at. Here's another focal point of what you can be looking at, right? This it could also just be, what if it's in the middle? Then it's just in the middle. It's here. But this is still a focal point that you're looking at. See that? These are all focal points. And those focal points need to be studied. Meaning, you study to see where there is contrast, light, darkness, which can help you to create dimension in whatever it is that you are drawing. And this goes also for other types of shapes. It goes for squares, it goes for rectangular shapes, it goes for triangular shapes, many types of shapes. But I want to show this with a sphere, right? I want to show you with a sphere that you can do it. Here's another neat way of looking at a circle, and that a circle is actually not that intimidating, right? If we are talking about ways of how we can look at objects that have a circular movement, a circular shape, then we easily come with, for instance, cans, right? Something like this. A circular shape, and I already made it 3D, right? This is the top. This could be a label, right? This is maybe the inside of it. There we go. Now we have maybe a pot or something else. It's 3D. I can look into it here. 3 ways of looking at it, 3D, and all coming from a circular motion. I can also create a cubus with a circle. I explained already to you that if I make a square, right, from here, there you go. What might this be? This might be a washing machine. You know, and there's a couple of things over here and here, washing machine. I got a front loader, so my washing machine looks like this. Makes it already 3D. All right. There you go. I used the circle to create a well enough shape of a square. And from the square, I can create a cubus. Here you go. I can create a cubus. Right? If you're not familiar with instantly creating 3D forms from circular motion, and this is a great exercise just to start out with it. If I had an eraser, if we could use the eraser, then I would just erase the circular shape away from it. But this is like a guiding line that I can use for any other type of shape that I'm creating. These are great exercises just to play around with circular movement. So let's go a step further. Right? So we have had the exercise where we are talking about, focal points. It's a focus point here. It's a focus point. Here it is. Right? And if that is the focal point, and I say that, for instance, here is light, then we can, light, so we can play around with that a little bit. Right? Bam, focal point. So how do we translate this into real objects? The apple, for instance. Circular movement. Most apples are round. Let's say, for instance, that I want the light to come from here. Here's where the light is coming. It needs to be 3D, of course. And the shadow is here, here, and here. I'm going to put the S of shadow. And here's the light. A great way of doing that, right, is by saying I'm looking at it. So I could draw an imaginary point, my imaginary focal lines. And because I said I want my light to be here, I can create another circle. I can create another circle into it. See that? So this is only going to be the point where there is light, and maybe that light diffuses a little bit as it goes bigger, and the rest is in the dark. Good. Now, just for completion, let me draw the stem over here. So here is going to be a stem. Let's make it cute. Here we have a leaf, an apple. Most apples have something that they have a crown here at the end, right? So I'm thinking about the apple like this. All right, let me use the red color. So here's my light. Here's kind of diffused, and here's the dark. And a little bit darker. A little bit lighter. And this is the part that I just leave alone, right? My apple. An eye. Right? A little bit different when it comes to the focal point, because I can have my imaginary guideline here, imaginary guideline over here. See that? The reason why I draw two imaginary guidelines is because you have an upper lid and a lower lid. My focal point might be here in the middle, right? And you got an iris here. Right? The iris over here. This is also a pretty fun way to create an exercise where you play around with how an eye moves. So if you make a circular motion, this is a kind of your guideline. You can create this. You can create somebody who's surprised. You can create somebody who might be sleepy here. Right? Something like this. You can create somebody who's looking to the left, like this. You might be able to create someone who's looking to the other side, over here. Right? All ways of playing around with circular motion. But what you already noticed through the whole video is that I talk a lot about circular motion. I'm not really talking about it needs to be a circle. It's more about circular motion. Circular motion helps you to go from 2D to 3D to apples and eyes. Okay. It helps you to go from apples and eyes. It all up. Things that I want you to focus on are, of course, consistency. Repetition. And confidence. All right. Most people trip up with this one. Confidence. You need to be confident that you are drawing what it is that you see. In order to do that, you have to repeat your hand motions and your eye motions. You have to train your eye, your mind to see what it is that you have in front of you and therefore confidently create something. Then consistency comes into place. Consistency doesn't mean anything else than you doing it on a steady basis. And that could be for 10 minutes each and every single day. You just do this. You create shapes. Right? Because me creating shapes like this is an easy way for me to, for instance, create grapes. Right? And as soon as I start to create grapes, I can accentuate the ones that are in the front, the ones that are lying on top of each other, the ones that are big, the ones that are small. This one is in the back and it has a stem, leaf. Let's create another one over here and then one here. And then I even can look at the focal point. Where's my light coming to? Now let's say the light's coming here. Right? I already made it even. I'm making it 3D. Here is where I want my shadow to be. So that would mean if this area is my light, then everything else becomes darker. And the ones on the bottom, of course, become a lot more darker. See that? This is, of course, with lighter, because there's my focal point. There you go. Shapes, 2D. Mixing the shapes together. There you can have it. Here are your grapes. Consistency, repetition, confidence. That's what you need. So the thing that I basically want you to get from this is that you need to fail. All right? Fail until, all right? Allow your brain to see what it is that you are doing, to pick up what it is that you're putting down. Because eventually, your brain will create new pathways of what it is that you're trying to teach it. If you are a little bit older, or it has been quite some time for you that you picked up a pencil and a piece of paper and started to draw, then this might be the great moment to do so. All right. You might have a little bit more trouble doing it than someone who is younger, but it doesn't mean that your brain doesn't have the capability and the capacity to learn new things.